What's up guys, it's the bearded wonder Gaibriul here, coach of the LA Luxury, here for week 6 team preparation for my battle against Freedo in the Battle Union. It's a bit of all of a mouthful there. First things first, I feel like I haven't had the time to prepare for this, so if I go through this and there's a lot of mistakes, I'm truly sorry, and you can definitely just barrage me in the comments to let me know what I've done wrong. And when I say I haven't had enough time, I've been mentally preparing, but it's just the EVs and stuff like that where I've had a little bit less time. I'm recording this in the morning before a long freaking day of work, and then I'm battling Freedo. So yeah, it's gonna be tough, but I'm well up for it and I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna give it my all. So let's go into Freedo's team first of all. Now, as you can see, not around the face, around me now is Freedo's team, and you can see how powerful and a good draft he did. Let's go through the 10 mons that he can possibly bring to the battle, including his Mega. So first of all, we have the powerful, the either specially attacking or bulky, specially bulky or physically bulky, Sylveon. We have Infinite, Empoleon, Celebi, Crobat, Garchomp, which is a recent acquisition, and it's one that does scare me, Gengar, Lantern, Explode, and his Mega is Mega Manectric. That's a tough team. The benched Pokemon he had, I cannot really remember, to be completely honest with you. They're around there, but I can't remember them, but they're irrelevant in this video because he cannot bring them to this battle, so I don't need to prepare for them. So, looking over that team, Pokemon that I think he's going to bring, and potential sets, potential threatening moves, things like that. You know the shtick by now, it's what I always do for my team building. So first things first, I think he has to bring the Sylveon. I have a Mega Altaria there that doesn't like Hyper Voice. Sylveon can wall its dragon attacks and hit back with a Hyper Voice. So it's going to be pretty damn strong against me. I also have a Goodra in my team. For the same reason, Sylveon. It's the most stable Pokemon he can choose. He has to bring it, and for this time, I'm kind of not thinking he's bringing Specs. I know I've seen a few videos of his and he's brought Spec Sylveon and it's threatening, but with this one, I think it has to be a bulky variant. So we're talking Hyper Voice, we're talking Wish, Heal Bell, Psyshock possibly, Protect most probably, maybe an HP, but we're looking at those 3 main moves are Heal Bell, Wish, Hyper Voice, and then maybe Protect. Basically, it's got to be really fat to take hits. There's nothing that's going to sort of just, well, of course I've got my Rotom, I've got my Heatran, which can take a Hyper Voice perfectly fine, but it's not about threatening those Pokemon, so against those he's generally going to switch out anyway. It makes sense to me that he would bring that it's going to be a leftovers bulky variant, and I have to prepare for that, I do believe. Next in line to that, I think he'll be bringing, again, part of his defensive sort of core, Empoleon. Looking over my team, it is tough to deal with that mon. It really is. Because it's steel and water, I want to bring Chestnut, really do. But then he's got Crobat, and Crobat completely and utterly walls Chestnut to the point where it's difficult to bring when you've got a Pokemon that it walls it that well. I mean, it would make Crobat too strong if I brought Chestnut. So I have to think about it, think about the sets, and I'll get to that when I get to my team. But Empoleon is going to be something hard to deal with. I do think it's going to have quite a lot of bulk, probably again on the special side, with maybe a little bit in the physical side. It's going to be Scald, Defog, Stealth Rock, or Toxic. So it could be Stealth Rock or Toxic. The reason being I'm saying either of those instead of just outright Stealth Rock is because he has a Garchomp there, which could of course pack the Stealth Rock instead. I think it's going to be Ice Beam over Flash Cannon because Ice Beam also deals with the Goodra if I decide to bring that. It deals with the Gliscor as well, more so than the Scald does. So it makes sense to me rather than having Flash Cannon just for the Altaria, that it brings the Ice Beam, which is good against a lot of mons. And the difference between the stab damage, it wouldn't make that much of a difference to an Altaria, to be completely honest. I think once again, it's most probably going to be leftovers. Now there's room for maneuver there. It could be could be a citrus, you know, it could be rocky helmet, it could be air balloon. There's a few things it could be, but I kind of can't prepare for the 2 out of the ordinary, because then my team may just be a complete mess if he brings ordinary things. So you know, I have to try and think about it. Leftover seems like the most logical and probable choice. The next Pokemon on the line, I've already briefly mentioned it, Garchomp. It's ground, so Heatran doesn't want to take hits from it. It's a dragon type, so my Goodra doesn't really want to take hits from it. It gets fire attacks, so my Escavalier's fucked on that. Chestnut would be. There's a lot of Mongs this is good against. And it's going to be one I have to prepare for in the exact same way as Landorus T that I've prepared for the last few weeks. It's going to be difficult. It's a tough mon. I think it's going to be probably a set. I'm thinking Swords Dance, Earthquake, Dragon Claw, Rocks. Probably Rocks because over the Empoleon, so Empoleon gets access to something else like the Toxic. Because again, that kind of makes sense. And I don't think it really... It all depends on whether he wants to bring the Fire type attack as well, or the Ice type attack, but I don't think he needs to with that coverage. I think the Earth type attack, as in the Earthquake, Stab, Swords Dance, and the Dragon Claw are pretty much good enough for a lot of mons in my team. Now he could bring the Fire Blast to completely and utterly destroy the Chestnut, if he decided to bring that. That's a possibility and make it more of a mixed attacker. But again, I have to sort of limit my ideas and think logically about what it could bring, and I do honestly think it's going to be Swords Dance setup. Maybe with Substitute, that's a possibility. Earthquake, Dragon Claw, and then his last move is probably going to be either another coverage move or it's going to be Stealth Rocks. The final one that I'm going to predict him bringing, like definitely, is Mega Manectric. It is Mega, he's brought it to everything, of course he's going to bring that. That makes the most sense. It's got good coverage, it's fast, it's genius. So we're looking at Overheat, we're looking at Volt Switch, and most probably HP Ice over HP Ground, just for the Gliscor, because Gliscor could wall this otherwise. And then his last move, now this is where I'm getting a little bit sort of thinking about it. His team has a very big ground weakness. We're talking 4 out of those 10 mons are weak to ground. This thing has only one weakness in that ground. Magnet Rise is a move it learns. It's a very big possibility that he could bring Magnet Rise, Mega Manectric, and it would be a pisser to see it. I'd love to see it, to be completely honest with you. But I've got to prepare for that, of course. Honourable mentions in his mons too. My monitor's gone off. That always happens. I don't know why I always let it happen. Honourable mentions to Crobat, because I think he's going to bring it. I think it's too good. I think it's incredibly good against my team, and it's going to be really tough. And also the Infernape. That's again, you know what, that could be 100% on there, but again, I want to limit it to 4 a week, because 5 may just sort of like change my mind about too much, and I may over prepare for certain things that don't come. But Infernape, it gets so good coverage, it's fast. We're looking at Gunk Shot is the main move there, aren't we, really, against Altaria and Azumarill. And then it gets close combat, it gets Mach Punch, of course, it can deal with Heatran and Ambipom. It gets the Stab Fire type attack. It is a pain, and it's going to be a toughie, it's going to be tough. Like the weaknesses, he's got a very balanced team, except for looking at 3 weak to Ice and 4 weak to ground. Other than that, there's a few double weaknesses, not double as in 4 times weak, but a few like 2 weaknesses and stuff all over the place. But there's nothing really stand out except for that ground weakness, which I do definitely want to try and exploit with my team. And also I've got to take into account that ice weakness as well with some of my hidden powers and coverage moves. So let's go into my team. Right then, this is pretty simple. This is just going to be me telling you my team. What I've decided to bring against those 4 mons, and against what other things I think he could be bringing. So we're talking with the MVP for the past few weeks, really. He has been absolutely awesome since I've brought him off from the bench, and I think in this game he's going to be absolutely incredible as well, and it's mainly due to that speed, because Freedo's team, it's fast. It has got really quick mons, but the only mon quicker than this is the Crobat, and that's Ambipom. This time it's not going to be Scarfed, it's going to be a Life Orb like before. We're talking... And this was tough. I'll give you like what I was thinking when I was making this. I'm thinking, in the end, I've decided on U-turn, return, to knock off and gunk shot. Now what I was thinking during this was, I didn't know whether I wanted U-turn, but I felt like I needed some turn initiative. I really did. Return and gunk shot were a given. Had to bring them because the stab return's too good, and the gunk shot, I need it for Sylveon, because Sylveon otherwise it's so difficult to deal with. So that gunk shot is there just purely for that, because Sylveon has not got a great physical bulk. It really hasn't. So smashing that with a gunk shot is amazing. So the other two moves of the U-turn and knockoff. Now U-turn was there originally as low kick for that Empoleon, and that's something I'm still thinking, shit, maybe I should bring that. But I feel like if he brings the Celebi, I need that that unbelievably strong max attack U-turn against the Celebi, and it gets me initiative as well to switch into something which is super effective against it. Because I have to prepare for every mon. I can't just prepare for mons I think he'll bring, like for the 4. I have to think about everything. And at the end of the day, I thought low kick is not good enough against other mons. I mean, mons you're talking about are Exploud and Empoleon, and I don't see him bringing Exploud against me. I just don't see it. With me having a Heatran there especially, and like obviously it can eat up a boot burst, is what I'm saying. And I just don't think the special attack is what he needs. I think because he's got a lot of special attackers through his team, he'd need more physical attackers. So those last 2 slots I was on about, I don't think he's bringing Exploud. So the coverage move would purely be for Empoleon, and that wouldn't be necessary because I have other things to deal with it. Don't forget, Empoleon is weak to ground, and I'm preparing that throughout the team, whereas Sylveon is too difficult to deal with. And basically that U-turn seemed like a good idea. Next to that was the knockoff. Now the knockoff, I know OHKO's an invested Gengar, not a fully invested HP defense Gengar. We can't OHKO that. But of course, if he just goes for Shadow Ball, I can switch on it, I outspeed a Gengar, and I kill it with a knockoff. It makes perfect sense. So that's there purely for the Gengar, and knockoff is a good coverage move against other mons as well. It's a good move, of course, to hit some mons with, just to knock off the item. But Gengar is a big threat, and that's my one mon to deal with it. So Ambipom is important against 2 threats. That's its main job, is to deal with Gengar and to deal with Sylveon. It has no other task really, because it doesn't want to switch in against Infinite, because Infinite could be Scarfed and outspeed in close combat, or it could be Mach Punch, which would destroy the Ambipom quite well. Have to take that into consideration. So Ambipom, Life Orb Jolly, U-turn, return, knockoff, gunk shot. EVs are going to be, I believe it was 40 in SpEdF or 40 in HP, I can't remember which. The SpEdF was because he has a lot of special attackers around my team, and if I put it in HP, the percentage is a little different. Like if I put those 40 in special defense, I can take special defensive hits better than if I put the 40 in HP. But that isn't the important stat anyway. The important stat is of course 252 in attack. It's Jolly as well, like I said, and 216 in speed to outspeed everything except the Scarfers and except the Crobat, because Crobat is 130 base. I am not going to try and outspeed it without a Scarf. I have to think about that. Because he's not going to invest that much in it, but he's going to invest enough so that he outspeeds everything that's max. So there's no point even me wasting those EVs on it. The next mon I'm bringing in, this guy I'm looking forward to using for the first time, not the mon, but the build, is Gliscor. Gliscor is going to be my choice Scarf coverage. This thing is the complete counter to Mega Manectric. Now I know what you're thinking, Hidden Power Ice. That to me is irrelevant for this one reason. I OHKO with an Earthquake no matter what. I'm Hyper Cutter, so an Intimidate does nothing to me, which means guarantees my Earthquake will OHKO. And I outspeed because I'm Choice Scarfed. That is all I need to know about this. It is just too good to pass up the opportunity to bring Scarfed Gliscor for this week. It also gets great coverage in Ice Fang, and it gets other moves, say Steel Wing, it gets Poison Jab. I was thinking about Poison Jab, of course. I was thinking about Steel Wing or what's it called? Iron Tail. I was thinking about them because they'd be good against Sylveon, but I have to prepare for a Crobat. I have to think if that's coming, how am I going to deal with it? And the Stonage is there so it can smash a Crobat because we can take hits from that. So like I said, Scarfed, Adamant, because I don't need the speed investment, I don't need too much because I'm Scarfed. So we're talking 252 in attack, which guarantees an OHKO on Manectric. That's max HP invested Manectric as well. 224. No, not 224. What am I on about? 66. Sorry, in Sped F, because again we can try and eat special attacking hits because his team is very specially attacking. 180 in speed to outspeed everything bar a Scarfer. Very simple. Very simple. And then of course it's U-turn, Earthquake, Ice Fang, Stone Edge. Ice Fang there for the Garchomp. The next one I am bringing, and this guy's been MVP last week, and I feel like he can be good this week. He's hit and miss, really. Depends on the mons he brings, and it's going to be hit and miss, but he's got good coverage, and that is Heatran. So we're talking Heatran, we're talking Air Balloon, because that's been working for me, and I think against this team with him having a Garchomp, it will most probably be the best choice. Air Balloon, and we're talking Fire Blast, Flash Cannon, again, Earth Power, and Dragon Pulse. Now the Dragon Pulse is there, so I've got something against Garchomp. Flash Cannon is self-explanatory for against that Sylveon. Fire Blast is the stab attack, again just to smash through. It deals with Celebi quite well, and it's just a damn good attack, like that's its main threat. And then the Earth Power, because most of his mons are weak to Earth Power, I have to bring it, it's too good. Mons that this is going to be troublesome against, I'm going to have trouble, probably Empoleon, but I should live a Scold. From an uninvested Empoleon. And an Earth Power is it's not a 2-hit KO, I think it's 3-hit KO. So I can't really switch in against it, but I can do damage to it. And I need to try and chip away at Empoleon because it doesn't get very good recovery at all, does it? So chipping away at that makes everything else pretty much okay, like an Earthquake from a physically attacking mon would pretty much destroy it then after a bit of damage. So that's why that's there. We're talking, this is my build, my EVs, we're talking 224 in special attack. We need that special attack, we need to smash through, we need extra power. 108 in speed, so that I do outspeed an uninvested Celebi. The reason I'm saying uninvested is because Celebi, if it isn't specially attacking, if it isn't an attacker, then it's not going to really be invested that well, and this creeps it. And it just gives me general good speed, doesn't it really? Outspeeds the Empoleon and stuff like that. 176 in defense. Now my reasoning behind with that was because I can live a fully invested Infernape's close combat with that EV spread in defense, and I have to think about that. No point in putting it in HP for that reason, because the only mon that's going to be really scary against it is that Infernape. It really is. Moving on. Oh, it's modest as well. Moving on, and I'm glad to see this little guy coming back. Uxie. Uxie is going to be different this week again, but it's going to be a setup. It's going to be Calm Mind, it's going to be HP Ice, Psyshock, and Giga Drain. Giga Drain there for the Empoleon, and so I've got some way of leeching life back. The HP Ice is self-explanatory for the Garchomp, and the Psyshock is there for the Crobat. Obviously, it destroys that. It's also good against, I know there's two mons, one we're thinking, oh yeah, Gengar. It completely destroys a Gengar, and I can with Shadow Balls, especially after getting Calm Minds up. Simple. So this thing I'm looking at, I'm thinking, you know what, it's got places to set up. We can eat it up hits from the Sylveon, so I can set up against that. Empoleon, we can set up pretty much against that. There's a few things, so I have to think about it, but that's going to be a good mon to set up with. We're talking leftovers, we're talking timid, so it's got that tiny bit of speed investment, like tiny bit of speed, because I don't want to put EVs into it, but it means that the base 95 can outspeed a lot of things, and I do believe it, well basically it would outspeed an uninvested Celebi once again anyway. We're talking 228 in HP, because it gets that little bit of bulk. 116 in defense, so it can take hits from the Infernape quite well, and 164 in special attack, because that way we can completely and utterly OHKO an uninvested Gengar without a Calm Mind set up. Simple. And Gengar does not get that uninvested specially defensively or physically defensively. It isn't invested that often. Moving on once again to another one I have to bring, and that is Goodra. This moveset is going to be strange. It's going to be Sludge Wave, Ice Beam, Earthquake. 3 moves that are self-explanatory. The Earthquake is there for special defensive Empoleon, because that's most of the time what it is. So Earthquake takes it by surprise. And then Infestation, because I feel like Celebi is an easy mon to switch in against this, if his Sylveon's down. And I've got things to deal with a lot of mons, so trapping them in is pretty good. I like the idea of bringing it because it can scare some mons. They're trapped. Some mons may not be able to deal with Goodra that I can trap in, basically. Say a Garchomp that decides to try and physically attack me with the Dragon Claw, I can eat it up, and I don't want to put Infestation on it, so it's something like that. It's bad. But Sylveon, not bad to Infestation it, because I can take hits from it and Sludge Wave over time. Can do a bit of damage. Like it's something like it might be a 4 or 3 8 KO, but I might get poisoned. And it just keeps him there without options and doesn't allow him to switch in. It tries to give me some initiative, and that's what it's for. It's going to be Assault Vest once again. It's going to be 252 in HP, 92 in defense, so we can eat hits from the Infernape, and 164 in speed to creep the Exploit out and most of his other mons. The nature though, and it's a risk, but I'm bringing Docile. The reason being is because I do have that physical attack Earthquake. I need it to be as strong as possible against the Empoleon. And then I don't want to drop my speed, because we need speed investments in the Goodra. It's got good speed and there's no point dropping it. I can't drop my special attack because I'm special attacking mon. Can't drop my defense because of the Infernape, and I can't drop my special defense because of the Sylveon and the Assault Vest. Obviously, it makes sense to me. I don't need the specific investment into something from the nature, but I need everything to be quite balanced. The final one I'm bringing, and you'll notice Chestnut is not on this list. Again, cannot bring Chestnut when he's got a Crobat. It doesn't make any sense. Chestnut, I don't think would have been amazing against his team, but I would have given me a little bit more versatility, but not having a Crobat, no chance of me bringing it. Having the Crobat, sorry, no chance of me bringing it. Mega Altaria, that's my final one. We're talking Roost, we're talking Earthquake, and we're talking Return, and we're talking D-Dance, because this thing, for a start, it can set up probably against an Empoleon, which even has which has super effective attacks, but we can still set up against it. Celebi can set up against. The Ramons we can definitely set up against, without a shadow of a doubt. Garchomp is probably one that we can do a lot of setting up against, really, because we can after one D-Dance we outspeed and we KO with a Return, and it doesn't have that many attacks for me. The Dragon Claw's obviously immune, and then he's got the Earthquake, which I can eat up quite well and pretty bulky. So we're talking Adamant. We're talking 180 in HP, 252 in attack, and 76 in speed to outspeed everything except for that Crobat again after a D-Dance. Pretty damn simple. This one's going to be important against the Infernape because there's like, I think it's like a 90% chance to OHKO with an Earthquake at fully invested Infernape, and we can eat up hits, including a Gunk Shot. We can eat up hits, including the close combat for days. So that's a matchup. I obviously don't want to destroy my Altaria by in that matchup, because he will most probably outspeed unless I've got a D-Dance. But it's a mon against it. So that's my team. If you've got any questions about it, let me know in the comments. This week's it's a big game for me because I can go top with 5-1. I can stay top with 5-1 because currently I am top. And if I lose, 4-2 is nowhere near as good. There are a lot of people who can catch me on 4-2, and I want to start making a push to get guaranteed playoffs, and I need to start winning every game. And I've done it well so far, only losing to Xenon, but Freedo is a threatening player. He's a very good player, and I have to think about him. But yes, that's my team. I'm looking forward to battling with it. There may be some poor choices there, like Heatran may not be great, Goodra may not be great, Uxie may not even be great. But there are reasons for bringing them, and I think they will do a good job, and I have to think about that. I need those options. I've explained them quite well, you know why. So hit me up in the comments if you've got any differences you would have brought to the team, if there's any things you think I've missed, oversights, things like that. Interact with me and let me know how you think I'm going to do, who you think is going to be the MVP against this team, and who you think Freedo will bring. It's quite a lot, but that's a lot of research you can do. You can check it out. Of course, you can go onto the Battle Union or Freedo's own page to check out the team build and stuff like that, and to basically put yourself in my shoes and see what you do if you were me. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this, or if you agree with what I've said, hit me up in the comments, and don't forget to smash that like button below. More importantly, though, have yourselves a damn fine day. I'm nervous and I'm knackered. Long day of work ahead of me before this game, and I'm sure it's going to be ticking over in my mind, my builds and things like that, but I'll get there. I hope you're all loving life, though. See you next time.